I'm Keni Arts, and I'm an artist, plein air painter, Plein air painter. That means just somebody that paints outdoors all the time. And I live in the community. My house is one of the ones that got burned down, and so I've come back to capture the neighborhood and sort of show it the way it is now. My house started on fire on the early morning on the 9th, so I came back that very next day, and because I know the neighborhood, I was able to get in to my property and saw that everything was gone. And so I've been back 3 or 4 times. I'm staying with my daughter now, a couple of hours from here, so I'm trying to get back as often as possible to paint. I came to Altadena about 40 years ago and started painting, and then 38 years ago I bought my house, which is up the street there a little ways, which was up the street. We know our neighbors a lot. When I'd go walking in this neighborhood, I would often see people that I knew that lived blocks away, and it's kind of different than other places where I'd lived as a young man, where you just don't get to know people in your neighborhood that well. Been here most of my life. I'm from the Midwest, Kansas. Came here as a teenager, and aside from traveling, I've lived in other places as well, but this has always been the place I come back to, kind of like home for me. You know how sometimes a teacher will have a strong influence on you, and I had an art teacher that made us go outdoors and paint one time when I was in high school, and it freaked me out at first, but I fell in love with it. I soon fell in love with that, so I've been painting outdoors for years now. I found, and I don't take any credit for it myself, but I found that the people in the community, it kind of gives them a comfort to look at some of the places they've known for years in a different way, and is sort of flattering for me to be able to do something like that kind of gives people a little hope. And that was long before the fires came along, but that's one of the main reasons I'm here, is to show my community that Altadena can come back and be a thriving place again. It'll take a while, but one of the things I'm concerned about is that when it's being rebuilt, that we do it with the same feel that it has now. We don't come in with a bunch of condos and just boxes that people live in. People live in unique houses. There are many different styles of architecture here. Part of the community that built down was called the Janes, Janes, I believe is the way you spell it. And it was like a historic area that was unique in itself. And next door, I had a Spanish style home myself. Other people in the neighborhood had different styles of architecture, and that's what made Altadena different. It wasn't like a cookie cutter type of environment. So that is one of the big reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing, is to show people what it used to look like, so that when we start to rebuild, it will not necessarily be like it is now or was before, but it'll be something unique, and that's what Altadena is, unique. My studio was burned down, so I need to establish my studio again.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I try to keep a good sense of humor about it. It is uncomfortable, but what can you do? Crying and complaining doesn't seem to get us anywhere. And like I said, I appreciate guys like you that come along and try to tell the story. Uh, this is really necessary because unless the word gets out about how special this place is, then it could die. And that's the last thing I want to happen, to see this die. Like I said, I own my own home, and I was going to leave it to my children. And because I lived here, my daughter bought her home here. So that brought another part of the black population here. Yeah, that's something, and it's not like we want to make it all black or anything like that, but one of the things that makes it so special is that you do have a diverse population. You do have a black, white, Hispanic, and that is again something that makes Altadena kind of a special place. We welcome people, but we don't want it to grow too fast, too wild. But it'll come back. I'm confident that it will. There are a lot of people that love this place enough to work to bring it back, and so that's what I want to do. I'm an old guy now, so I've been through a lot. But what bothers me, a guy just stopped by a few minutes ago, a young guy named Clark. Clark, I hope you don't mind me mentioning your name. But young people are struggling more than a lot of us that have been around and experienced a lot of things like this. This is one of the things I hope the young people will take courage and look at this as just a phase of their life. Things happen like this, and you just have to move on and not get discouraged. Now, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, but I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but you need to find something to hold on to. I don't intend to sell this series. This series is called Beauty from Ashes. And this is scripture out of the book of Isaiah. God will bring beauty for ashes. So that's what I hope will happen, is from these ashes you see here that something beautiful will come out of it. I do have a GoFundMe. I don't remember what that is, but I'll put that I haven't put it on my website yet. But if you want to see what this neighborhood looked like from an artist's point of view going back 20, 30 years, go to KeniArts.com. That's KeniArts.com, KeniArts.com. You'll see a lot of my work there. And I think if someone wants to support me, buy one of my paintings. I have a hard time asking for help, but that's something I can do. But anyway, thanks for asking.